Hello and welcome to the next session of this video podcast, which is about the cyclic management and organizational learning. My name is Tobias Drewlani, and in the following 10 minutes, I would like to talk about the role of non-technical aspects for technology development. The concepts that I'm going to discuss are informed by a sociological perspective. And what characterizes such a sociological perspective will be the topic of the first part of this session. I will give you a short glimpse of what is particular about this perspective and provide some basic concepts. In the second part then, I will present how these concepts can be used for a better understanding of cyclic management. Therefore, I will discuss why organizational learning is important in this context. I would like to start with some of the central objects of sociological research. While sociology is not so much interested in the individual and, for example, its cognitive capacities, it rather is interested in the social interactions and relationships between individuals. In this understanding, social action is characterized by practices and structures. These are the patterns of human action and the more enduring and fixed aspects. Moreover, human action is characterized by so-called social systems. Organizations, in this sense, can be considered as such a system. A second important aspect of this introduction is the question of how sociology is practiced in its research. Even though there are many different approaches, sociology aims to understand and explain the reasons why people act in a specific way. In order to do that, a broad range of methods is deployed, from interviews and observations to survey and statistical analysis. In this session, I would like to focus on a particular object of sociology, namely organizations. In the field of organizational sociology, organizations are the central unit of analysis and are understood as a specific mode of social coordination. Even though dominant forms, such as bureaucracy, can be found, organizations are constantly changing. Here, I would like to highlight that organizations and the way they are designed are crucial for the development of technology. This connection between technology and organizations is described in a prominent model in organizational science. In this model, organization and the management protects its technical core from outside influences. Such influences can, for example, be rapid changes in the market demands. And the technical core, for example, can be understood as a production of a specific product. Following this model, it is crucial that the technical core can operate in a protected space and does not need to react to all external changes. Now, I think we are equipped with some basic concepts and ideas, and we can proceed to the second part of this session. Therefore, I will be present a model that describes a particular form of organizational learning. I will show you why this is important for cyclic management and provide some examples how organizations can realize this learning practically. Let us start with framing the underlying situation, or in other words, what is the problem that needs to be solved. Organizations face rapid changes, internal and external ones. There is a higher relevance of innovation, and innovation cycles are becoming more heterogeneous and shorter. Finding the appropriate organizational structures that are able to cope with these situations can be very difficult. And while there is not something like the one best way, we could claim that organizations must learn to handle those complex situations which are permanently changing. So why does this require a special solution? In order to elaborate this question and analyze different organizational modes of coping with this situation, I would like to introduce a model of organizational learning that distinguishes two different modes of learning. But let us see this step by step. In this model, the so-called single-loop learning refers to the mutual adjustment of specific operations and the methods and strategies that inform these operations. Problems are solved on the basis of the predominant methods and strategies, but do not necessarily lead to rethinking the underlying concepts and assumptions in the organization. But this might not always be possible because major changes are required and methods and strategies of cyclic management are no longer sufficient. In these cases, learning refers to a meta level that takes the different occasions of single-loop learning into account. It is concerned with the underlying concepts and assumptions and asks how these can be changed. Well, no, let us transfer this model to the problem of cyclic management. We start again with the basic structure of this model. And the single operation now is here the innovation cycle, which is again informed and controlled by the cyclic management of the organization. Single-loop learning refers to the evaluation of single operations on the basis of cyclic management and might lead to some minor adjustments. In some cases, the organization might experience that cyclic management and the way things are normally done are no longer sufficient, and that the underlying concepts and assumptions need to be changed. This requires, again, another mode of learning that is concerned with the permanent state of change. In this sense, double-loop learning informs the ongoing reorganization of cyclic management. Let me give you an example of how organizations can practically deal with this situation that require double-loop learning. One way to handle this situation can be the decoupling of organizational units. That can, for example, be realized by setting up experimental settings or spaces within the organization, such as creative labs. Or can also, in a more advanced way, mean and realized by creating a department that seeks to found startups, not just as a one-off matter, but on a regular basis. This is, for instance, done by the company Siemens Next 47. This, in both cases, provides these units with some independence of too rigid organizational structures. At the same time, that does not mean that these units are completely disconnected. The main organization can still provide support in specific aspects, such as legal advice. At the same time, other parts of the organization can still operate as normal. Now, these approaches are supposed to enable an ongoing meta-learning about the cyclic management and its reorganization. Well, I think we can conclude this short session by repeating that non-technical aspects and organizations are crucial for the development of technology and requires a specific form of learning. The presented modes of reorganizing the cyclic management are not exhaustive and are always connected to specific changes or chances and problems. Thanks for watching.